Hi friends, welcome to our channel. Today in this video, a nice story explained in English. An Astrologers Day was written by R.K Narayan. It is a short story about astrologer in his life. An incident took place. It is very interesting story. You can write easily in exams. Now coming to the lesson, an Astrologers Day. Listen and watch clearly. In our daily life, we are seeing many astrologers in many areas with an attractive dress with sparkled eyes. Here, our astrologers who satisfies or he solve the problems of the clients or customers with his conversation. Astrologer has married and having a daughter. His routine life was people with so many problems they consult the astrologer for the advices to solve the problems of the peoples or customers. Entering into the story, one day astrologer at midday he opened his equipment bag and spread out equipments. And astrologer dress seems to be very interesting and attracting. His dress was very different and his forehead was covered with ashes. To attract the customers, he dressed saffron colored turban around his head. This color scheme never failed because it is attractive color to customers. He sat under a tamarind tree. It was remarkable place in many ways. In front of the astrologer, many of the people moving up and down. Besides to the astrologer or next to the astrologer, a variety of trades and occupations are represented all along its way. Medicine sellers, magicians, and cheap clothes seller, etc., are filled in that area. Besides to the astrologer, a vendor of a fried groundnut seller who gave his a wear of a fancy name each day, calling it as one day Bombay ice cream, one day Delhi almond, next day Raja's delicacy, and etc. to sell his groundnuts. It is crowd place where people move from one place to another. But astrologer does not have his own light. A light of groundnut seller, light of a flare which crackled and smoked up with attracting to astrologer. Astrologer managed without lights of their own. Before he becoming an astrologer, he was a farmer in his village and an incident took place in his life. So he left his village and moved to city. And he was a stranger to the new city and begin his life as an astrologer. He don't know how to manage people at the beginning of his work, his profession. But his practice made astrologer to be perfect in his profession and satisfying customers and advices to solve the problems of the people or customers. Astrologer charged 3 pies per each question from one person. He never opened his mouth till the other had spoken for at least 10 minutes, which provided him enough stuff for a dozen answers and advices to customers. Astrologer who gets the problem and advises. Like this, astrologer end his day with sufficient money. One day, astrologer at a late night, he was packing his equipment to go home. At the day, vendor goes early to his home, so there was no light to astrologer of his own. In the darkness, a stranger standing in front of astrologer and asking to astrologer, "Sit and chat with me." You call yourself an astrologer. I heard that you are the astrologer who advises and solves the problems of many people. So I have met you, but I don't believe it. The stranger is saying that, "Can you say anything about me?" So the astrologer felt challenged and said, "I charge only 3 pies per each question, but you have challenged me. So astrologer demand 8 annas." So stranger accepted the challenge. Conversation between astrologer and the stranger. Stranger is speaking to astrologer. "I have some questions to ask. If I prove that you are bluffing, you must return the money with interest." And astrologer accepted. And astrologer saying that, "If you find that my answers are convincing or satisfying, will you give me 8 annas?" Then stranger said, "If your answers are correct or if your answers can satisfy, then I will give more than the twice." At that time, astrologer felt very uncomfortable and slightly astrologer caught a glimpse of his face. by the matchlight means stranger is smoking a cigarette and puffing out in the presence of matchlight. Astrologer saw the stranger's face and started saying that you were left for dead, but you are alive now, and you were pushed into a well near in the field. Some passers has saved your life, so now you are alive. And next saying that you have came to here to search a person, but that person was died 4 months ago in a road accident. You will never see any more of him, Gurunayak. Calling stranger name as Gurunayak. Gurunayak was hearing to astrologer's words. Gurunayak, listen carefully to what I have to say. Your village is 2 days journey due north of this town. Take the next train and be gone. I see once again great danger to your life. If you go from home and never travel southward again, and you will live 100. Gurunayak gave money to the astrologer. It was nearly midnight when the astrologer reached the home. The stranger also went off. His wife was waiting for him at the doors and demanded an explanation. At the time, astrologer gave money to her wife and said, "Count them." They overall very happy, overjoyed. After that, astrologer saying that, "Do you know a great load has gone from me today in my village when I am a silly youngster and my friend. One day we drank wine and when we drank wine and we fought each other without any reason and I have pushed into well. I thought he was dead. With that fear, I ran away from my village and settled here and married you. He is alive now. That's the reason I ran away from my village." Like this, astrologer's day is ended. Our lesson was completed. Now from the story you can easily write in exams. In your earlier stage in inter you already have written an English subject. You can write easily in two ways. One is annotations and another one is essay. You can write in two ways like about the author and context meaning, and you can elaborate the scenes from story. You can easily write introduction of the astrologer and his equipments and vendor and crowd area. Next stranger. At last astrologer's flashback. For an essay, answer should be minimum 2 pages. You will get good marks. At last, this is the video. I think you have understood the story of the astrologer. Like this, our lesson is completed. For more degree lessons, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon and activate all option. Whenever I upload a new video, you can watch easily.